Okay, so today we're going to talk about 0.1, changing units of measures within a system. We're going to talk about two different systems. One system we will talk about is the customary system, which is the system that we know here in the US. And then we will talk about the metric system, which is known primarily around the world. So the metric system is known of as kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. When we're talking about links in the customary units, we're talking about feet, inches, yards, and miles. So there's three ways I'm going to show you today on how to convert these. First way, we will convert from larger units to smaller units. We will do this by multiplying. To convert from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we will divide, and then we will use dimensional analysis to multiply by a ratio of the units. So to start it off today, we're going to convert from larger units to smaller units. So what we have here is we have kilometers, and we want to go from kilometers to meters. If you take a look at your table above, you will notice that there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So meters is bigger than a kilometer, so we are going to multiply. So we're going to take 4.2 kilometers, and we are going to multiply by 1,000. Take 4.2, you multiply by 1,000, you end up with 4,200 meters. And that is our answer to problem 2A. Now again, we're still talking about converting units from a larger unit to a smaller unit. There are 3 feet in every yard. Again, if you take a look at the table above, it shows you that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So we are going to multiply. So I have 13 yards. I'm going to multiply this by 3 because 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. 13 times 3, and we end up with an answer of 39 feet. Now we're going to move on to example 3, and we are going to convert from a smaller unit to a larger unit. And again, if you make reference to the top of the page, you will see that when we convert from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we are going to divide. When we first take a look at this, you will notice that it is millimeters to meters. And when we're talking about millimeters to meters, and you go back up and you take a look at your table, you notice that we have meters here and millimeters there. This causes this to be a 2-step problem. So we have meters here, and then we have millimeters down here. So what that is going to make us do is we are going to convert from meters into centimeters, and then from centimeters into millimeters. So when we first take a look at this, I got 17 millimeters. So I need to convert from millimeters to centimeters. This conversion is a smaller to a larger conversion, and so we are going to divide. Hey, we're talking about smaller to larger conversions. We are going to divide. So we take 17 millimeters, and we are going to divide that by 10. 17 divided by 10 gives you 1.7 centimeters. Now we aren't done yet because that's not my answer. I wanted my answer to be in meters. So I need to convert this from centimeters to meters now. Again, we're still going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, so we are going to divide. You should note that there are 100 meters in a centimeter, 100 centimeters in a meter. So we are going to take 1.7 centimeters, and we are going to divide that by 100. Giving us an answer of 0.017 meters. And that is our answer. We converted from smaller to larger by dividing. Now, when we get down to B, we are talking about things that a unit of measure that we use here in the U.S. We use yards, we use inches, we use feet, we use miles. And this asks us to convert it from 6,600 yards into that number of miles. So we're going to use what is the dimensional analysis. So we start out with what we are given. And what we are given is 6,600 yards. So I'm going to write 6,600 yards. Now I'm going to multiply this by a fraction. And when I multiply this by a fraction, I want to make sure whatever variable or whatever term I'm trying to get rid of, in this case yards, is on the bottom. Then take a note at the top. I have a relationship from yards to feet. I don't have a relationship from yards to miles. So this is a two-step problem. I need to go from yards to feet. And we're going to write what the relationship is. I have 3 feet in 1 yard. But this does not give me my answer because my yards will cancel and I am left with feet. I wanted to know my answer in miles, so we're going to multiply again. And whatever I'm trying to get rid of, I want to make sure I put on the bottom. So I'm trying to get rid of feet, so I'm going to put feet on the bottom. I want my answer to be in miles. You take a look at the table above. There is 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So we're going to take 6,600 yards, multiply by 3, and then divide by 5,280, and it gives you an answer of 3.75 miles. That is called dimensional analysis. This is something you will use a lot in science. Dimensional analysis is something you will use a lot in both Mrs. Brewer's class and Mrs. Tran's class. Now we are going to move on to capacity. And capacity is how much does it have the ability to hold. So the metrics, it's just liters to milliliters. But the customary, we have cups to fluid ounces, and we also have pints to cups. We also have quarts to pints and gallons to quarts. The only 2 examples that we are going to do is example 4A and 4B. I want to convert from 3.7 liters to milliliters. So you will notice by looking at the table above that there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So we are converting to a smaller unit. Anytime we convert to a smaller unit, we are going to multiply. So we are going to take 3.7 liters and we are going to multiply by 1,000, giving us an answer of 3,700 milliliters. Taking a look at B, you will notice that B, we are going from quarts to gallons. We're going from quarts to gallons. There are 4 quarts in a gallon. We are going from a larger unit. We are going from a smaller unit to a larger unit. So we are going to divide. So I'm going to take my 16 quarts and I'm going to divide by 4, and my answer is 4 gallons. What you will notice if you try to do C and D, they are both 2-step equations. Okay, on C, you will have to convert from pints to cups. And then convert from cups to fluid ounces. Same thing is going to happen on D. D is also a two-step. On D, we need to convert from gallons to quarts, and then from quarts into pints. Our last thing that we're going to talk about today is the metric unit of mass. Metric unit of mass, which is kilograms, grams, and milligrams. And then in the customary units, we're going to talk about pounds, ounces, tons. When you are taking a look at converting 5.47 kilograms into milligrams, you will notice that there's not a direct relation between your kilograms into your milligrams. So this is a two-step conversion. I need to convert my kilograms to grams first. Notice when you convert kilograms to grams first, there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So we are going to take 5.47 kilograms, and we are going to multiply that by 1,000 to give us an answer of 5,470 grams. Now that I have my answer in grams, I can now convert from grams to milligrams. Grams is larger, so again, I'm going to multiply. I'm going to take 5,470 grams, and I'm going to multiply that by 1,000, which will give me an answer of 5,470,000 milligrams. Now, what I would like for you to do before we start class tomorrow, I would like for you to solve B and have that answer ready to go. It'll be the first thing that we talk about in class.